Hey guys, how you doing? It's Devin Pelton from Antigua Winds, and I'm here at one of our important dealer partners, Alamo Music in San Antonio, where Antigua's based. This is kind of home for us. So you got your new flute, you're home, you're out of the music store, you're excited, you want to get it out and do stuff. And I know band doesn't start until, what, next week or maybe even tomorrow, but you're not going to wait, I know you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you do it the right way, open it up, make some sounds, impress your family maybe a little bit, and do it without damaging our instrument. We want to make sure that we have a nice, big, solid surface, so when we start, we don't, drop pieces all over the place, because your flute has got 3 different pieces. Each of them can get boogered up, so we don't want to do that. So we find the label or the sticker. In the Voci case, we've got the label kind of built right into the ABS case, but your instrument's going to have something. It's going to say, okay, this is top. Now, the latch is going to be different. I mean, there's different kinds of latches. Some pick up, some pick down, some, but make sure that you figure out which way it is, because again, it's very important that we open it with the right side, the correct side up. So we open it up and cool, there it is. Now, it might have a bag on it, it might not, it might have papers in it, it might not, but we're going to start with one that's completely packed. We just brought it home from the store. There's 3 pieces. You see how they sit in the case? There's this long piece, that's called the body of the flute. There's this short piece, and that's called the foot joint. And then there's this kind of medium-sized piece, that's called the head joint. That's where we're going to start, okay? So we're going to pull the head joint out, take it out of the case, very careful. I'm keeping it on top of my table or my bed or whatever. And this is what I want to mess with first. This is where I'm going to start. So I'm going to unpack it, I'm going to take the bag off it. I'm going to take everything out. Oh man, I'm excited to get this thing out. But you see, I'm kind of going slow because I don't want to mess it up. Oh, look at that shiny head joint. Put this in the trash can. Get that later. So, the flute, head joint. The flute gets its vibration kind of like a pop bottle. Have you ever taken a pop bottle and blown across the top of it? And what that's doing is it's kind of cutting your airstream and then wiggling around in the pop, and it makes a sound. Well, if you drink some of the pop, you notice it makes a different sound. Or if you dump some of the pop back in, that's kind of gross, but if you did, that would make a different sound, right? So what you're doing is you're changing the length of that vibration. All sounds are vibrations. The vibration that makes the flute work is just kind of like a pop bottle. I blow across the top of this hole. This is called the embouchure hole, the blow hole, the tone hole. There's a lot of different names for it, but it's on the middle of this lip plate, okay? And all there is to it is we blow across it. Just like that. Try this with me. I want you to practice by starting with a very little airstream. Don't think of opening your mouth and making a big hole, because it takes very little air to make a flute work. Think of the air pushing a hole in your lips. In fact, when it does that, it kind of makes a P sound. Listen. Hear that? That's what I want when I blow across the top. I just want to let the air push a hole in my lip. Now, one of the things that's going to be most frustrating to you when you first start is you're going to be going and you're not going to be able to get a sound. That's because we have to have it right on the right spot on this embouchure hole. Okay, so let me show you a trick. Rolling in is what I call when we go like this. And when I do that, when I bring it the hole towards my lip, then I can feel it on the bottom of my lip. See that? But I don't play it like that because that just goes shooting through. What I do then is I find it, I feel it on the bottom of my lip, and then I roll it out. By rolling in and out, that's how I dial in on where exactly I want to blow on that flute. So check this out. See, that's not working. And that's not working. So it doesn't take far to move that where you're going to miss. So obviously it's important where we direct that airflow. We got a little itty bitty airflow. We want to make sure we're hitting it right in the right place. Now, I'm going to show you a little trick that'll make it easier for you to get that sound. Plug the pipe. Just put your hand on the pipe. And that makes it a lot easier. Okay, try that with me. Hear the P sound? I want to hear the P sound out of my lips every time I start the air. Now, a neat thing is, the only thing a flute does, the rest of that stuff that's still in our case, the only thing it does is it lengthens that vibration. And I can do that with my finger. That's pretty cool, huh? So the best thing you can do between now and when band actually starts to impress your band director is get really good at making that a nice, solid, long tone. Something that sounds the same for a long time. Practice and see how long you can do it. Practice and see if you can roll in, find it, and just nail it every time, because that's what's important. It's going to take some practice. Don't get mad at yourself if you're not getting that clean sound. So just kind of feel it on your lip and practice. Changes the sound. All right, now let's go on. Let's put some more of it together, because I know you're gonna anyway, okay? Let's look next at the body of the instrument. Remember I said that was the long part? So I've got the body of my instrument out. It's pretty, it's shiny. Look at all those buttons and things. Those are called keys, okay? They all move, they move around, and they're how we're going to change the sound. Now, there's two ends of the body. There is this end that's obviously got a place for the head joint to go into, and then this thing that, well, we'll worry about that later, okay? So we're going to take this head joint and we're going to carefully put it together just by kind of working it in that hole, okay? Now, the way we make sure that we have it in the right place is, remember the blowhole, the embouchure hole that we talked about? We want that to be pointing up, and also we're going to turn the body of the instrument so our keys are pointing up. Now, some of your flutes are going to have the keys are all in a straight line. That's called in line. Some of them, they're going to have a couple keys that are a little bit out of line. This is an offset G. You'll learn about that later, but the important thing is that the majority of your keys are pointing up, and so is the embouchure hole. Okay, so that's how we put the head joint in. Carefully pick it up. Don't worry about where your fingers are right now. Let's see if we can get a sound to go through this whole thing. Remember, we're going to roll in, feel it. Let's try it again. I might be able to get a better one if I kind of change where it is. Oh, you see how I rolled out and I found the hole? That made a difference, didn't it? See? That's how you do it. You find out where that hole is. So that's pretty cool. Let's not worry about the fingers yet, but let's hold the instrument around here gently, not squeezing it. We don't want to bend the keys, and kind of hold it here. And just see if we can get a bunch of good notes. Make it last for a long time. We're just getting used to it, all right? Don't expect yourself to be James Galway right now and play a bunch of stuff. Just get used to it, see how it feels. Now let's put this down on the bed or table and go and get our foot joint out of the bag. This case, I showed you the body, the foot, and the head joints. This case is designed to carry a flute. Nothing else. No homework, no love notes. Only the flute, okay? So make sure that that's the only thing we keep in that case. Now, foot joint, I'm gonna put that foot joint in my hand like this, and I'm gonna put my hands gently on these keys, okay? My thumb kind of right there on these keys. What that does is that kind of pushes down on them, and it kind of gives me a nice firm grip on it. I'm gonna get a nice firm grip on here too by pushing down with my other hand, okay? I got a good grip on this piece, a good grip on my foot joint. Now I'm gonna put them together. And again, just like when I put the head joint on, I'm just gonna kind of twist it on and push it on there. Now a difference here is, remember I told you to have the pads in line with the blowhole? On this one, this is a little easier because this rod that goes up and down here and holds all of these keys on the foot joint, it goes kind of in the middle of where those holes are, okay? So it kind of, if I drew a line, it kind of went all the way up to the middle of my blowhole. So we're good. Now I've got my flute together. I know you want to play a scale, you want to rock it, you want to show your parents how you can play, but you know what, for right now, there's a lot involved with where our fingers go and everything, and your band director will show you that. So what I'd like you to do is just kind of wrap your hand around it, get a good firm grip on it, put your hand down here. We've got the whole flute. Let's get good at getting the note, getting the vibration, because then we can learn how to add fingers and take them away to change the note, okay? See how long you can make that last. Let's talk about putting the instrument away. All right, you've done that 210 times now. Very well. Good, that's enough practicing for today. Let's talk about putting it away. I'm gonna grab around here nice and gently but firmly. Around here like I did before. I'm not squeezing it because I don't want to bend these keys. I'm opening this up, wiggling it back and forth. It comes out. I put it back in the case. All right, same thing here. Again, firm but not bending it. Wiggle it back and forth. And there's only one way it will go in the case. Don't force it. If you try to put it in like that and it's kind of, well, you know, there it is, the case isn't really going to close. If you mash that case down, you're going to mash some of those keys in. Those will bend. No bueno. We don't want to do that. So make sure it goes and it sits all the way in, nice and all the way down in the flute. Most manufacturers, they're going to have the where you put your head joint on the towards the right end of the case. All right. I'd say most. There's probably one out there that doesn't, but make sure you point the body in the right direction so the case is going to close right and it's going to protect that instrument. Now, something that's real important is when we put these things away, I got fingerprints and stuff all over it. I'll tell you what I want you to use to wipe those fingerprints off. Get one of your dad's old t-shirts. Really, I mean, maybe one of your old bed shirts. I don't care, but a nice soft cloth, and that's what we're going to use to wipe the instrument. We're just wipe the fingerprints off and things like that, and then you can put it away. So anyway, make sure it's in the case. We're going to wipe the fingerprints off, get it all firm, get it all good, close it, make sure that your case latches perfectly. That was a great first shot, wasn't it? We made our first sounds. We're going to work on making those sounds last for a long time. We're going to practice that. Be very gentle. We're always going to open and close the instrument on top of the table or our bed or something like that. We got a great start. We're ready to go show those guys at band what we can do. Keep practicing. So long.